Are you coming to Bonaire to shore dive? Do you plan on diving the Hilma Hooker? Would you like some tips and tricks to make your Bonaire shore diving experience easier and more enjoyable?
Well, that's what we're talking about in this video.
And we're doing it right now. Hey folks, Kevin and Liz here on beautiful Bonaire with the dive video about the dive site Hilma Hooker, which is probably the most famous wreck here on Bonaire. It's a great dive, I know you're gonna love it. And in this video, we're gonna tell you all about it. We're gonna show you the lay of the land outside of the water. We'll show you the best place to enter and exit the water, if there is one at this dive site. Liz will actually demonstrate the entry, and we'll give you some tips and tricks on what you're gonna see and how to dive the site and how to dive the wreck. I know you're really gonna love it. But before we do that, if you could do us a huge favor, if you've not yet subscribed to our channel, will you subscribe? It's free, doesn't cost you a thing. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. But if you would, take a giant stride on that subscribe button, then make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll be made aware of when we have new content for you to enjoy. That really does help the YouTube algorithm recommend our content to your fellow Bonaire travelers. But the Hilma Hooker, let's talk about it. It's a great wreck. If you're not used to wreck diving, this is a really good introductory wreck for you. Huge wreck. We won't go into the history of it. You can look online about that, but it's an easily dived wreck. We're going to talk about that. There are 3 ways to dive it. One is directly from shore. The other is a drift dive from either the dive site, the lake, or the dive site, Angel City to the south, coming up north. It's really cool to see that wreck come up out of the blue and hit you in the face. So recommend doing one of those 2 other ways after you've dived it once or twice, the regular way we're going to talk about. But it's a great site. If you have no wreck training, although you can get inside this wreck, you can penetrate the wreck. I wouldn't do that without the proper training, without full exposure gear. You can get into the main hold of the wreck. You'll see that once you get there. Liz is going to talk about that a little bit. But there could be dangly wires and things, although it's cleaned out, that could snag you. But also make sure you bring a flashlight on this. But Liz loves diving the Hilma Hooker, and she's going to tell you all about what you're going to see.
Yeah, so I love it. I love a wreck, so I love the Hilma Hooker. I think the first thing I would say is the entry can be a little bit tricky. There is a big step down, which can be okay getting in, but can be a problem when it's a big step up getting out. If you haven't done your squats, or you've got tired legs like I did at the end of that one, you'll probably see it in the video. I had a tough time getting up, so you have to look for some more rocks that maybe give you a little bit less of a step up there. But that's just something to keep an eye out for. There's also some current, but the wreck itself is beautiful. It's a little bit deep. It goes down to maybe 90 or 100 feet. So if you're used to diving Bonaire and you're used to those shallow dives where you've got a ton of no deco time, this is one where you really want to keep an eye on your gauges and make sure you've got enough air, make sure you have enough no deco time, because it can really run out towards the end if you're getting really into the wreck.
Yeah, definitely. So make sure you keep your eye on your computer. But you're going to love the wreck. Once again, it's sometimes you could have currents there, especially if you're not used to how currents flow over a wreck. But you're going to love this wreck. It's intact. It's on its side. Make sure you swim to the bow, swim to the rear, and to the stern where you still have the propeller. But you're also going to see all your normal marine life. You're definitely going to see tarpon. They love to hang out inside and sneak up behind you. But all the typical marine life you see here on Bonaire, you're going to enjoy. This is part of the double reef system. I doubt you'll ever see the second part because you're going to go to the wreck, but make sure you save some time to enjoy the reef itself on the way back, on the way to the mooring. And of course, we're going to talk about how to access the wreck and how to enter and exit here in just a second. So let's do that right now. Let's take a look at the lay of the land, and we'll get you on board the Hilma Hooker. Okay, let's take a look at the lay of the land here at the Hilma Hooker. Plenty of parking, which you'll need. This is typically a very busy site. You'll see where I'm parked right here, and that's what most folks do. They back up. Don't back too far because you've got to put your tailgate down. But you have plenty of parking. I'll show you where you enter from the road. Just pull off. This is the second marked dive site on the southern sites. Once the houses stop, you have the lake, then you have the Hilma Hooker. Just drive on down, park here. Gear up. and then you'll see where the entry is marked. And I'll tell you, the entry and exit, there's really not a good one here. Hate to tell you that, it's just no fun. It is somewhat of a tricky and difficult entry just because of step downs and rocks and ruts and things that want to give you a hard time. So make sure you use that walking stick. Once again, they've got the yellow rocks marked for the exit and entry. You can really enter where you want, but let's head on down here to the water and take a look. Some rocks in here, but through here, obviously it's easy. Just pick your way through the big boulders. And come on out. To this area. You'll see this is where it gets kind of slick. You've got the slick stuff on top of this substrate. Kind of a slope down here. I hope you can see that. So be careful there. Stick will be helpful. Then I think you can see where there's another step. It gets to where it's rocky but somewhat level. Then you've got to step down into the sand. Right about there, a little bit past, you should be able to put your fins on. Let's look down the coast, and it's similar the entire way down. Further down, you'll see you have more rocks to navigate through, but you're always going to have this step down, so getting in and then getting back out, that's what you've got to do here if you want to dive the Hilma Hooker. I'm not going to candy coat it. It is not my favorite entry, but if you want to dive here, this is what you've got to do. You can see over here, there's a little pocket to step down into. Some folks will try that, but then you've got a rock to step over. I don't recommend it. Just come right here, or find a particular or a similar place further down. Here you have a little bit less to contend with going out. Get out to where you can put your fins on, stow that walking stick, and then surface swim out. What we do is we actually surface swim to the mooring. You'll see 3 mooring buoys. One, hopefully you can tell, is inset. That's the official mooring buoy for the site. That's where your dive boats will tie off to. You'll see another one to the south and one to the north. Those are actually attached to the Hilma Hooker. So one is at the bow. Bow's to the south, and one is to the stern. Stern is to the north, and that marks the actual ship. So we surface swim to the official mooring buoy, which is inset, descend, head over to the wreck. Since that mooring buoy is in the middle of the wreck, basically, once you swim back, it's not attached to it. You descend to that mooring buoy, swim out across the first reef, down to the wreck. Make sure you take a good compass heading before you descend so you can swim back to here underwater in the shallows. Make sure you check out the shallows. There's some good stuff to see. To dive the wreck, but what's nice and what I recommend is also when you are at the mooring buoy, before you descend, take compass headings to the bow buoy and the stern buoy. So if you're on the wreck and you want to just swim straight back to the regular buoy, swim that reverse compass course and come on back to the mooring buoy. Makes it quite easy, then you can come on back to shore. If you want to come straight out to exit when you're at the main mooring buoy, take a compass heading back to there. I would check it out down there before you get in the water first. So hope that makes sense. But once again, here's your entry. This is what you're going to have to contend with. It can be done. Hundreds of divers do it every day. Just use that walking stick, use your buddy, help each other get down on that step off, and also get back up. Let's go find Liz, and if she's willing, she will demonstrate this entry for us here at the Hilma Hooker. All right, here comes Liz. She's going to show us how to enter here at the Hilma Hooker. I offered. Fortunately, she did not take me up on it. She gets to do this one twice. Got some decent wave action here, but fortunately it's not sandy and churned up. You will see where she's about to get to. Pick the right spot. It gets foamy there. So you need to pick the right spot, use that walking stick. I should have brought mine while I'm filming. It's really slick down in this area where she is right now. And then you get to the big step down right here. Just like that. Perfect. And you can pretty much put your fins on there, but she's gonna come and show you how you get out. I can see the enthusiasm on her face. She's just so excited about this big step up. Yep, and wait on the right moment. Or like Liz is doing, maybe pick a different spot. Gonna show us how squats pay off. Oh, or something else you can always do, folks. Be nice and help your buddy when you've got all that gear and camera gear. And if they were to wait on you to come help them, or do it like that, find a better spot. That's how you do it, folks, just like that. That was perfect. Way to go, Liz. That's how you do it here at the Hilma Hooker. Well, folks, that's just about going to do it here for us at the Hilma Hooker. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. So would Liz. Speaking of Liz, I'm going to find her. We're going to gear up, get in, and I'll see you at the next dive site.